these aren't tears of sadness, they're tears of gratitude. These tears celebrate 135 caps for the Croatian national team. But that's not all. These tears are also the result of a life, of a struggle, a difficult struggle that Luka Modric has endured since his youth. Because before becoming a hero in his home country, the Croat had to move mountains. He experienced poverty and, more significantly, war. And 30 years later, he won the Ballon d'Or. To get there, he pushed his limits and always believed in his dreams. When his country was burning, he found refuge in football. Occasionally rejected or ignored, Luka never gave up. You also shouldn't let anything get in your way and take inspiration from Luka Modric's inspiring journey. The story began on September 9, 1985, around 20 miles from Zadar. The Modric family welcomed the newborn Luka Jr. into their home in the dusty mountains. Luka Sr.'s grandson, the boy grew up in a quiet area with his family. They raised and sold goats to make money. But things got very tough in the 80s. Shepherds struggled to make a living. They lacked money and resources. And in 1991, things were made worse by the political situation in Yugoslavia. When Luka was only 6 years old, his country was overtaken by a violent war. Not long after the start of the conflict, the boy's grandfather was killed by Serbian militants. This is part of my own memory. I have memories of spending so much time with him. I slept at his house, played with him, went hunting with him. I spent a lot of time with my grandpa when my parents were working, and I have a lot of amazing memories of my time with him. Hunted and fearing for their lives, the Modric family had no choice but to flee. Despite regular bombings, they found safety in a hotel in Zadar. Luka and his family were now refugees, like 220,000 other Croatians. Being just a kid, he didn't fully understand what was going on, but he knew that something wasn't right. You're not aware of everything happening around you because your father is also trying to protect you, to not think about these things. You see something is happening when you see your parents are worried, but you don't understand. You think about it, but you want to play with your friends. It was a tragic moment. Luka may have lost his home and his grandfather, but he found a new passion. The little boy spent his days roaming the corridors of the hotel, accompanied by his trusty football. Whenever he could, young Luka played in the parking lot and kicked the ball against the hotel's walls. Luka was a good footballer, and this caught one man's attention. Josip Bilo became Modric's very first coach. I heard about a little hyperactive boy constantly playing with a football in the corridor of a refugee hotel, even going to sleep with it. Luka quickly became NK Zadar's newest star. The young man's life wasn't very complicated. After school, he'd rush home to play football. But to have this glimmer of happiness, he had to risk his life. Along with his friends, he had to make his way through a city that was constantly being bombed. As a result, the boy had run-ins with death on a number of occasions. But it was all worth it for him. As a bonus, he found joy in sharing a common passion. In 1995, fighting ended on Croatian soil. On the pitch, Luka Modric brought joy to his teammates and his coach. His future in football seemed marked out for him. But for Hajduk Split, he was too small and skinny to succeed. A return to the mountains? Impossible. His family had sacrificed everything for their son to succeed. After this mishap, he joined Dinamo Zagreb's academy. But the club in the Croatian capital didn't believe in him either. He made his professional debut while on loan to a club in Bosnia. Young Modric didn't see this as a failure, but as a test. A chance to prove to his critics that they were wrong. Because thanks to his past and his childhood, Luka wasn't the kind of person to give up. He stood out despite his young age and the tough nature of the Bosnian league. Luka Modric became the best player in the league. Luka stood out again the following year through sheer talent and determination. Luka was a real star in the midfield. When he returned to Dinamo, he signed a 10-year contract. He bought his parents an apartment with his money. Living in a hotel was a distant memory. But the young player's rise didn't stop there. After some brilliant seasons with Zagreb, he joined Tottenham for $25 million. In England, Modric reached another level and caught the eye of the biggest clubs. 2012 was his crowning moment. The kid, originally from the Velebit Mountains, joined Real Madrid. Luka Modric seemed so shy, but on the pitch, it was like he was everywhere, or simply essential. Luka won many titles with the Merengues. He won the Champions League 4 times. 2018 was a year of total success, or almost. Luka won the biggest competitions in Europe, but he couldn't quite lift the World Cup. After an absolutely outstanding journey, the captain and the Vatreni found themselves up against France. And in the final stretch, they fell short. This might have been one of the biggest disappointments in the player's life. But everything is relative, because paradoxically, he became the hero of an entire nation. And a few months later, he won the prestigious Ballon d'Or. He became the first Croatian in history to win this accolade. 2018 is the year all of my dreams came true. It's a huge pleasure and a massive honor to be part of this group of great players who have won this prize. My parents sacrificed everything for me when I was a kid. It's thanks to them that I'm here. At that moment, Luka Modric was at his absolute peak. Things then got a little complicated. The player's performances started to drop off. But he never gave up and always continued with his work. Despite the criticism, the Croatian gave 200% to get back to his best. And Zinedine Zidane always believed in him. Today, he's once again reigning over Real Madrid's midfield. Recently, Luka Modric hit 135 games played for Croatia. He's become the most capped player in the young country's history. Remember these images. After such a feat, Luka's teammates paid homage to him. A powerful moment that moved the captain to tears and maybe made him think about his amazing journey. A path that was full of huge obstacles. But Modric never gave up despite all this adversity. Luka Modric is part of a generation that's written an incredible story. The story of a nation that was fighting for their independence 30 years ago. Luka Modric was one of the people that fled war to write this story. He showed that bombs and weapons will never stop a child in the pursuit of their dream. That despite injustice and violence, you should never give up. He fought non-stop and with his own weapons to become a hero. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, and wherever you're going, never forget that it's all about the journey, not the destination.